Good morning. I'm Chirstopher Millar. I'm the Chief Executive Officer and President of Gatekeeper Security. We're a US-based technology company. One of those things we're going to talk about briefly today is one of those challenges that are out there in dealing with today's threat conditions. And the more you look around the show, the more you see some pretty elaborate, well-advanced equipment. However, what they all have in common is the fact they are being applied greatly for forensic purposes, other words, after the event, rather than trying to prevent, which is what the security world is all about. You're trying to prevent an issue occurring. Having high-end technology, being able to look afterwards to see what happened is really of no value. So what did Gatekeeper Security do? We develop technologies that put intelligence into optical systems, and we have a range of those, and we'll cover them off as we go through there. We're in 28 countries. We've got over 1,000 deployed systems in regions and markets where our technology is essential. It's not a nice-to-have technology like a lot of the technology you see out there. These are deployed in situations that really matter, where things do go bang, where people do get killed, and that's where prevention comes in. Gatekeeper provides a lot of that technology. We're also on the security side, we're also working with police forces, border protection groups throughout the world, looking at various situations where we're looking for people escaping the law. We're looking for illegal immigrants. We're monitoring those things, but we're doing it in real time and not relying on the human to actually do it, but assisting the human with what we're doing with our optical systems. The systems have all been approved by the US military, so most of them have been deployed worldwide through the US military. And the systems also have to stand up to all sorts of environmental conditions. So from the very cold of northern Russia, where we protect the nuclear facilities in northern Russia, to the great heat of the Middle East, to the humidity that we find in Southeast Asia. There's a lot of systems that we have deployed, as I said. We operate through our research labs in Virginia, just outside Washington, D.C. We have operations in Mexico City, Dubai, and Saudi Arabia. So these are our main technologies. There's a lot of automatic license plate readers out there, I agree. However, our technology is significantly different to the extent that we go beyond just reading the numbers. We can tell you the colors of the plates. We can get down and read a lot of different languages in terms of different styles of plates, whether they be Arabic or Cyrillic or Hindu. We're able to read these plates. We're able to tell you the country of origin, and in the case of the United States and Mexico, we can get right down to the state level of issue. So there's a lot to reading license plates, and a lot of plates are very easy to read, but except when you get into some very tricky conditions, and we'll talk a little bit further about how that automatic license plate reader works with our other technologies. Container code readers. We read the codes of containers and can link those to trucks. So if those trucks and containers get separated or they change when they come onto a facility, a port, and they come out, we'll know what they are, that it's not linked, or you can know the value of those from the manifest, to just prompt the guard to be able to ask questions as to why you came in with one container and now leaving with another. Our automatic under-vehicle inspection system. We've been in business now 14 years. No one has yet produced a system that does what the Gatekeeper system does. It's a dual-view virtual 3D system that can tell if a vehicle's been changed in any way. It works like a digital fingerprint, and we're able to recover the images from the database based purely on that digital fingerprint and display to the operator any changes to that vehicle. They can be done irrespective of driving behavior, whether they accelerate, stop, park on top, drive to the left, drive to the right. The system corrects for all those errors and produces that. And it doesn't, that type of image. And it doesn't matter if it's trains, where we cover a lot of trains globally, or whether they're large trucks or cars, we cover the full range, and all the systems work the same way. When you're looking at cars, for example, coming into a facility, and where this backs into our license plate reader, if someone takes a plate off that vehicle, puts it on another vehicle, the system will alarm, because that under vehicle digital image will not match the license plate. In that case, there's a question to be asked, maybe perfectly legitimate, but the system is monitoring the whole time whether the license plate matches that vehicle. Is that vehicle clear? The next layer that we've introduced about 18 months ago is our driver cam. The driver cam looks through very heavy tinted glass, through sun glare, and at night it's such great resolution that we run facial recognition on those images and can automatically compare the driver, authorized driver of record, with the present driver coming into the facility. If there are other faces in that image, like there is in this illustration here, those faces are also run through watch lists. So you can find out if it's an ex-employee that's been put off and now trying to re-enter. Is it someone trying to escape across a border crossing that's wanted by law enforcement? There's just a number of ways in which you can deploy that, but it takes the human element out of the process itself. So what do all these technologies have in common? They overcome human failings of long periods of concentration. Humans are very clever at a lot of things, but beyond 20 minutes of concentration, not too many people can get to that level. And there again, if you don't have references to work against, you're still in a handicapped position to be able to compare one with another. So you're taking the human aspect of being the short terms of concentration, replacing it with a computer that essentially isn't going to sleep, always knows what it's looking for and is looking for changes in scene. So that's what the intelligence does when you put it into an optical system. It gets ahead of the human. It turns the human from being a sensor, in other words, trying to find an issue, to a decision maker, in other words, here's the issue, what are you going to do about it? And it's done before the issues occur. So just an example of this is an under vehicle image. The vehicle's been cleared. Below it on the left-hand side, you'll see two images from the face recognition system. One is the new driver image. In other words, the vehicle is just coming in. The other one is the image that is recovered from the database of the authorized vehicle driver for that vehicle. All match. The vehicle's clear, the driver is the authorized driver, the light's green, the vehicle can come on in. So that's a typical example of just how those technologies come together. The system is also checked to make sure that the license plate on that vehicle is the one that belongs to that vehicle. So there's a lot of layers that are going on there, but it speeds the process up and allows vehicles to go through, but you can do it with great certainty. So the future of our optical inspection systems, what Gatekeeper's working on today is developing 3D imaging of the vehicles, not just on the outside or the underside, but through the glass and looking inside and developing the 3D imaging within the vehicle itself and on the outside. So you can spin that vehicle around, turn it over. It does everything the same as our 2D system does. It'll show you anything that's changed about that vehicle. It'll tell you who's inside that vehicle, and by running it against various databases, we'll be able to tell you if they are clear to go or they're people that are of interest. So that's an overview of our technologies, where Gatekeeper has included our optical intelligence or intelligence and optical systems to assist greatly in the fight against terrorism globally. I invite you to come and see us at our stand. We're over in 3 in the US Pavilion. Thank you.